I love to wear armband because they are so much fun to wear and they also look so sexy. I used to own quite a bit of them, but somehow they all disappear. I was like, they can't be that hard to make. And I was right, they weren't that hard to make, so I'm here to show you guys how to make one too. Here's the two main materials that you're gonna use. It is the 18 gauge and 14 gauge wires. In this project, you're basically gonna do a lot of pre-cutting before you actually start making the armband. All the measurement and the amount of cut will be provided in the info box. I am actually using two colors to make this armband, but you can use whatever color or mix that you like. Here is the measurement, and if you missed it, don't worry, just check the info box. After you make all the cuts, analyze the tip of your wire, you will notice that they're pretty sharp. Just use your old nail filer and just start filing away. Be sure to get the little wires too. Now gather the 14 gauge wires. Find the center point. You can just kind of eyeball this. Take one of the 5-inch 18 gauge wire and wrap the center point of the 18 gauge wire to the center point of the 14 gauge wire. Now you can start wrapping. Try to pull them as tightly as you can. When you get close to the end, leave some room so we can make the swirl. And try to wrap the wire as closely as you can to each other. Be sure the two tips are the same length. Now just take your round nose plier, hold it at the tips of the wire and start rolling it in. I want a really tight swirl, so that's why I'm trying to get it as closely as they can. Here I'm using a silicone clamp to prevent any scratching on the wires. Just keep on rolling it in, like a cinnamon bun. So once you get closer to the end, you will notice that your swirl's gotten to a pretty decent size. So just apply the same method to the opposite side. Just use the same technique and add 2 more. Now we're gonna make the swirl. You don't really have to follow my design because this part you can really be creative. I'm just using my fingers to manipulate the wires into any shapes that I like. At the tip of the wires, they are pretty hard to curve, so I'm using the clamps to change it a little bit. So as you can see, this is the design that I'm going for. To furthermore secure the swirl, I'm going to use the 4-inch wires and secure that area right there. Of course, you don't have to do this, it's just my preference. Make sure all your tips of the wire need to be in the same length. I'm using the same small swirl design throughout the whole entire armband. And I add another wire to the 2nd and 3rd swirl. Same method, same design, very simple. Now we're gonna make the opposite side. Just remember one thing, make sure the swirl needs to be on the opposite side of the swirl. And this is what it should look like. See how that 2 swirl is on the opposite side of each other? If you check the bottom of the design, they should be pretty smooth. Wrap the smooth side of the wire onto an object that best represents the size of your arm. You may have to adjust it a little bit once you take it out. This should be your result. And go ahead, try it on and see if it fit. See, I told you it wasn't that hard to make. Thought this would be a perfect accessory for summer, but who said that you can't enjoy it in the fall as well? I hope you guys liked this tutorial. I'll see you guys next week. May you be happy.